Hey everyone, welcome to today's vlog. We're going to talk about what I'm doing today. I'm walking through a bunch of spiderweb covered bushes and trees, covered in morning dew. It's a bit foggy out. It was a bit foggier. It's slowly getting burned off by the sun. Oh my gosh, look at all the snake bones. There's invertebrae, ribs everywhere. Bird must have got it. So we are in the Everglades, 10 miles deep from where I parked the truck. This right here is concrete. This is the old Ingram highway. This concrete was poured back in the 1920s. It was decommissioned in the 1940s. They don't use it anymore. Certain areas are open to drive. Good amount of it like this is open to hike. But I tell you, not many people hike it. There was a couple bicycle tracks and a couple footprints the first couple miles in, but once you get to a big mud hole, any kind of obstacle, everyone turns around. Not many people come out here. There's a couple official campsites. The first one is called Ernest Co., and this one is called Ingram Campsite. I went all the way out to this one. Not too challenging. The biggest challenge is it's really hot. Woke up this morning to like 95% humidity. It's because of the fog, but it's very oppressive and uncomfortable in the daytime too. As the sun comes up, the humidity drops down into the 60s, which is still pretty bad. Got a lot of beautiful spider webs. These are all orb weavers. They're not venomous. So the new Ingram Highway is paved. They had to create a whole bunch of ponds and lakes is what they call them, but they're actually quarries around the Everglades to build the new highway. So they got all the fill from an area that has an average land that's only 2 feet above sea level. They had to build quarries. But this older highway, it looks like they didn't use quarries. It's got a drainage ditch as big as the road. I think they just dredged, and that's how they built this. I'm just assuming, I'm not 100%, but there's a massive drainage ditch still operational after 80 years, full of alligators. Yeah, I got a lot of things to talk about in this vlog. So where should I start? The alligators. Most of them that you see on the side of the road that tourists take pictures of in the park. All the ones I stop and take pictures of, get out, walk within 10 feet of, take pictures. Alligator doesn't really care. It's used to hundreds of people a day taking its picture. Yeah, they're used to people. The ones out here, no one comes out here. No one really hikes this. This took me 6 hours to get out here with the trail conditions. Now we got like a 6-hour walk back. Yeah, these ones are afraid of people. I got one on camera. You could tell by its body motion. It was nervous. It wanted to take off, but it was in shallow water and couldn't really hide from me. It was like a 7-footer or something. Then I saw a bunch more yesterday. Didn't get any of them on camera. They all take off. They're skittish, the ones that aren't used to humans. They have a natural fear of humans on land especially. It'll attack you if you're on the edge of the water. It'll pull you in and eat you, but out on dry land, even one that was 9 feet was afraid of me, and it scared me because it was over in the grassy area and it ran across the trail into the deep water on the other side. Even a 9-foot gator was afraid of me out here in the middle of nowhere. We also saw one that was only 6 inches long, little baby. So they're skittish. They act a lot different than the ones in the public viewing areas of the park. That's a good thing though, that they're not afraid. I mean, they are afraid. But also, when I came down here camping, the Ingram campsite down there had a lot of wasp. It was very overgrown. I didn't like it. Once you get to that campsite, the highway is too overgrown. It's no longer a trail, even though it continues a couple miles out to the main road. I could get to the main road a couple miles, but it's going to take forever through dangerous alligator swamps. Wouldn't recommend it. Back this way. Now, probably 9 miles left. So I did not use that campsite. I actually hiked backwards after seeing its condition with all the wasp. Half a mile back, there was a fork in the road, and that's where I set up camp. It was a lot better, no wasps. So everything around here, if you look at satellite images of the area surrounding the Ingram campground or Ernest Cove campground in the Everglades, this used to all be farmland when this road was open. It has been returned to nature by the National Forest Service. From overhead, you can still tell areas that were orchards, orange groves, things like that. You'll see uniform holes where they ripped out all the trees and let the swamp grow back in. You'll also see other areas. You can see the rows and stuff from the crops. All these decades later, still visible from space. But they removed all the levees, everything that protected this farmland. They re-flooded it. Now it's full of gators and every kind of wildlife you would expect in the Everglades once again. It has returned back to nature, even though there's some areas of land that are altered. Everything's basically back and living here. So I camped at an old farmer's road. You could see remnants of where an old metal gate used to be. The poles that held the gate were still standing, but the gate was gone. I went camping there. It was a better condition than anything else, and anyone using this trail, it just goes into a dead end anyways, so I thought I would just camp there. Felt a lot safer camping there, and I don't think the park rangers could really get mad or argue the logic of why I camped a little bit before the campsite, especially considering I had a permit to camp at that campsite, and this trail, you can tell no one else uses it really. Wouldn't be surprised if more than a dozen people use it a year, especially not this time of year. We're off season for tourism, so not many people around as it is. And that's why I'm deciding to do some weird hikes. So, regardless if I was at the campsite or right there, you are still camping on the highway. And you got swampland here, grassland with water down in it where gators are. You got over here very deep drainage ditch water. So you set a tent up in the middle of the road, anywhere. You can have alligators 20 feet on either side of you, potentially. And alligators don't like someone new in their territory. So last night I heard a lot of noises, heard a lot of birds, frogs, and of course, the gators did not like that I was there. Thankfully, they rarely attack on land, and there's only been a couple instances ever of them breaking into tents. But again, I don't think many people actually go out to these places. Look at all the spider webs. Crazy. Yeah, I had one growling outside the tent, very uncomfortably close to the tent. There was an alligator going, for like 10 minutes straight. I tried shouting, tried aiming a flashlight through the tent. It just kept doing it for 10 minutes straight. Then I stood up in the tent, shook the whole tent. I didn't hear anything run away, but it stopped for an hour. Then I heard it again further away. And at that point, I didn't think it was much of a threat since it would move further away. Don't know if it was a baby alligator, don't know if it was a monster, I don't know. But that was enough to scare me into staying up most of the night, finally falling asleep at about 3 a.m. for 2 hours. I did get a couple hours that last evening before I heard it, so maybe 4 hours total. Not the worst. I'm a little tired. Just had an MRE coffee, had a Dunkin' Donuts coffee, the ones you buy in the bottle, like at Walmart. So I have energy, slightly jittery, but I'm also still tired and waking up right now. That was a little scary, but it's expected. I guess that added a little more excitement to my video, maybe. I don't know. but it's not going to deter me. I still have plans anyways for doing another camp like this among the gators maybe next week. Today's supposed to be 86 degrees with extremely bad humidity. I was embarrassed yesterday. I had to take a break like every 20 minutes out here and got to the campsite over an hour late of what I expected. So in my area, I could hike dusk to dawn, nonstop, always on my feet because there's no humidity. That humidity is a killer out here. I drenched my shirt. My big high boots were drenched. They're still drenched from yesterday. Got slight blisters going on, but I'll be okay. The humidity's awful, and this is the cold time of Florida's weather. It's going to be December in 3-4 days. It's getting hot fast. Just in the past 11 minutes talking to you guys, the sun's getting stronger as it burns off all the fog around me. I wonder if there's an airport around here. I keep hearing loud engines and stuff throughout the night. Something very loud to be able to be heard all these miles in here. Now this spot, there could also be things like bears and panthers, but panthers have never attacked anybody on record around here, and bears are rare. I don't know. Bears out here I don't think would be going in the swamps on either side, so they'd probably be just traveling the road. Whoa, another snake skeleton. But yeah, that sounds like an airplane now. Like a sonic boom or whatever the airplanes make. So yeah, I've walked and hiked a lot of logging roads and stuff, and bears will use the roads without going in the woods, and you'll find poops every couple hundred feet. Obviously not from the same bear, but bears often using the road. I haven't seen any kind of poop like that along the road, which helps me identify what's been traveling the road. Nothing like that. We will pass a few areas up here that are so overgrown you gotta bushwhack. I am alert for things like venomous spiders, but at the same time I know they're not trying to actually bite you. Any spider will try to avoid you before it wastes its venom, but if it's on you, somehow getting crushed, or if it's scared because you just plowed through its web, that's when you get bit. But most of these spider webs, you're seeing thousands of them in the morning dew. They're orb weavers. Very nice, beneficial spider that I love them. They're different types than what I have up north, but they are basically the same, make the same kind of webs. I think I had one on me yesterday and it freaked me out. Some of the orb weavers down here are massive. There's tiny little ones that look prickly. They're small, kind of looks like a tick. They're red. They're called the prickly orb weaver. There's also one down here called the golden silk orb weaver, and that's what I think I had on me yesterday. It was like halfway underneath my sleeve. It just ended up that way, and thankfully it didn't bite me. Probably from plowing through the bushes. It was a big one. And I was like, when I saw it, I was like, woo! And I actually dropped my camera. I'm more afraid of getting bit by something like that more than the spider itself. I saw one snake yesterday slither away. I have no idea what it was. It was a black snake, and that could be a lot of things without getting a good look at it. Could have been a older cottonmouth, which is very venomous. They lose their stripes when they get bigger. Could have been a common water snake, which is harmless. Could have been a rat snake. Could have been a couple things. But I only saw one of them. So out here, the alligators want nothing to do with you. So yesterday as I was walking, I was disappointed how few I got on camera, but I'll just be walking like we are now. Like 50 feet up ahead, I'll hear a big crash into the water. It hears me coming. It's out of there before I can even see it. So I heard a crash into the water dozens of times yesterday walking. Only saw 3 of them, like their tail or something, before it leaped into the water. And they're running away from me, so you can't look for their eyes to come back up and resurface. They hold their breath for a little bit and hope I go away. Even the 9-footer took off from me. Wish that guy was on camera. Biggest one I've ever seen. Like, it was so big, end to end of it wouldn't have fit on this road. That was scary. Because that one could literally eat you. The park rangers told me that if the gator is smaller than you, it won't see you as food. But that one was bigger than me. Coming back now, I have 3 water bottles left and 2 protein shakes. I'm really gonna need that once it starts heating up. Give it a couple hours, it'll heat up fast. It's only about 8:30 right now. Yesterday it was unbearable after 12 o'clock, the heat. Came out here with 10 bottles of water, a coffee, a can of bubble tea, a little bottle of grape juice. So I drank a good amount, had an MRE, had canned corn, had canned green beans. So I'm a lot lighter coming back, which feels nice. Feels nice. My back hurts slightly, but we'll take breaks here and there. Don't know why my back hurts on this trip. Did a long hike last week and it didn't hurt at all. Still got a little bit of food. I have a ton of those cheese and meat sticks combos. It's good energy if I need it. Now I'm on a mission to get back to the truck. But I can take my time today. I feel very gross. Layers of sweat, sunscreen, bug spray from yesterday. I also, when I get back to the truck, need to open my tent. I'm gonna lay it on top of my mattress in the back of my truck and drive around with some vents and windows open. I'm hoping it dries out. I didn't want to wait, because I've waited at campsites, you may have seen in the past, for the morning dew to dry up. This was the most morning dew I've ever seen on a tent. It was so bad that it was even dripping through the tent, like it had rained. I would have been there until 12 o'clock. Just listening for that to dry, but I rolled it up all wet, shoved it in the backpack because I wanted to get out of here while it's nice and cool in the morning. Here's an overgrown area. Heard that? Something big just took off. That's why I paused back there. I heard it. Alligator just ran into the water. Oh, and a bird got scared away too by the commotion. Now, there are scary videos on the internet, but they're rare. When a hungry gator will just lunge up out of the water at you. Unprovoked attacks are pretty rare. Just pausing, listening really carefully. That's another airplane I'm hearing. Look at the nice bird up there. Vultures in the Everglades have a habit of dropping their food and I guess forgetting where it is. I found a half-eaten eel on this road yesterday. Pretty fresh looking kill, didn't even smell yet. I also a week ago had a snake dropped on my windshield by a vulture, and I have the dash cam footage. I probably posted that already. My dash camera, I learned, is awful. Think of it, having a dash camera that records in what looks like 144 pixel in this day and age. It's the factory Toyota dash camera from my truck, and my truck's only 2 years old. This day and age, having a camera that's that bad, can't believe it. And I don't think there's a way of turning that up. There's no buttons on the dash camera. It's supposed to connect to an app, so every time you hit a bump or something, every time you hear the dash camera make this noise, if you slam on the brakes, it also has a little button you're supposed to push, and it saves the last minute to your phone instead of rewriting it and getting rid of it. Never worked. It never connected to the phone. I couldn't figure it out. Multiple dealers couldn't figure it out. So I'm thinking about just paying to have it replaced with the most modern one that is factory. I like the way it's supposed to theoretically operate, but no one can get it to actually work. But I was determined to find that footage. It also did not record, like the files in the SD card are not in order, which was weird. So what it does is, here's how the camera seems to record, which I don't understand. I've never seen a camera that does this. When you put the SD card into a card reader and look at the files, it has like 20 different folders. So let's say this. It'll record a 1 minute file in folder 1, then folder 2, then folder 3. Once it gets to folder 20, it starts recording in the first one again. So you click on the first folder and only every 20 file will be there. Then you go to the second folder, every 20th file will be there. I don't understand that. It's weird. So it took a while to find what I was looking for. And the footage quality was terrible, but I guess it would still prove certain things for insurance reasons. That was only the second time I ever pulled footage from that thing. Like, there's a lot of things I'd make compilations of, but it's not really worth my time going through that for each and every animal that I see in the road. I also would have a good compilation of terrible drivers if I had an easy way of getting in that thing. So I see all kinds of ridiculous things on the road. Okay, I'm starting to feel like I need water, but I want to get a little further. Big spider web. Ooh, not really avoidable. Got to go through some of them. Some of them feel like they're just covered in cotton candy. Now these thick areas like this with this bushes are kind of scary because there could be anything hiding in here. Bird just took off. I feel like we're getting to the most overgrown area because it had a lot of these ferns that are towering over my head. Nope, it opens back up, but there is an area like that, and it was sort of towards the end of the trail. So we got like 4-hour walk, 5-hour walk left. So this trip, I think I brought the perfect amount of water. I think we'll just make it out of here without getting dehydrated. Should have brought a little more. I didn't expect it to be so hot. But that's because I struggled on my last hike with a massive amount of water and ended up returning with 4 bottles. That's why I packed slightly lighter. I thought this trail was going to be quick. I thought I was going to be able to walk like the average person 3 miles an hour, but this stuff slows you down. I think I am probably walking 3 miles an hour. I'm just keep stopping to listen carefully. Roads like this, they're in good condition. They're still leaving them here open. Like this road here, they could clear this and drive down it in a day with a right piece of equipment. The first half of it's open. Park rangers actually drive it. You see tire tracks. Okay, this is the bad spot. Oh my gosh. I gotta put my legs up over and onto these trees. You know what one of my biggest concerns is finding in these bushes, other than the gators, because the gators seem to be afraid of me, is cottonmouth, because cottonmouth is a snake that likes to stand its ground. What that means is most venomous snakes don't want to be near you. They're out of there. You don't even get to see them. They slither away when they hear you coming. Cottonmouth is known for curling up into a ball, ready to strike. They're a stubborn snake that won't move. I found one of them in the road once, basking, and I didn't want it to get run over by accident or someone on purpose, killing a venomous snake. Ah, bad spider web in my hair. So I got out to try to scare it into the woods. It wouldn't budge. Didn't even seem to notice me. It was just seeming to enjoy itself. So I got my rake out, pushed it carefully over to the edge of the road with my rake. Didn't strike at all. Didn't seem to mind that I was touching it with the stick. Didn't get angry or anything. But yeah, I pushed it over. It was just a very stubborn animal. I was probably smart enough to know the rake wasn't alive. That's another skeleton of a snake. That one hasn't fallen apart. I gotta tell you, this concrete they use must be really durable. It's in pretty good shape. And it has like this, it seems like stone. It's got that rough finish from all the years of weathering. All over the place you see grass pushed over. Alligators. See that water? Very deep and scary. That drainage ditch is about 20 feet wide. Deep and scary looking, but if you're in the right area, you'll notice the water's crystal clear. It's just the bottom it's got black mud on the bottom of it. So this road, they still maintain it. They still care about it. They want it to be passable to an extent because there's a lot of... Oh, what is that? No, seriously. That's obviously poop, but it looks like the animal ate mud. I'm not even lying. It looks like the animal ate mud. Now look at that white poop. I'm gonna guess that's alligator poop, because just like my pet snake, its poops are often white, just like a bird or a chicken. All these animals, their pee and poop is all mixed together. But that looks like literally like fake poop someone made with mud. That's why I'm pointing that out. That's weird looking. You see right here, the grass is all down. There was a gator sitting there. Easy access. Now this is how gators attack people. Like if I was standing there looking into the dark water, it could be down there. It just lunges up. They are a ambush predator. They're fast on land, but only for short bursts. So they don't often attack on land. But in the water, if it wants to get you, it's not gonna, you're not getting away from it. Their tails are flat, like this, for lots of thrust. They're very quick in the water. Their tail's the opposite of a beaver. Beavers like this, they're like that. Still very quick. I'm gonna guess that was a small gator. Something just lunged in the water, but it didn't make a very big splash. Whoa! Hello, snake. I didn't even see you there. What kind of snake is that? I'm gonna have to look it up later. What's this yellow snake? Maybe about 4 feet long. Wait a second, everyone. I'm gonna put you on a tripod and I'm gonna pause you. Actually, I don't need to pause it. I'm just gonna pull out my phone and we're gonna do a quick web search right now. Yellow snake, Everglades.
Snakes frequently mentioned on the web include Burmese python, eastern coral snake, and rough green snake.
I'm guessing it might be the stream pack. Wait a second. We know that. Wait a second. Eastern rat snake? Eastern rat snake, Florida. Could be. Could be. Some of them are yellow, but not all of them. So if it's a rat snake, it's not going to be venomous. Everglades snakes. Now I'm going to just try to look at random images of snakes. Yeah, it's probably a rat snake. But unless I'm 100% sure, I'm not going to try to touch it. I'm guessing it's a rat snake. It does look very similar to my corn snake. My pet corn snake, which is a type of rat snake. Yeah. I'm going to assume it's not venomous, but I'm not going to touch it. I'm pretty sure it's not venomous, but I don't want to touch it. But it's being chill. I'm surprised I didn't see any snakes yesterday. What do you think? Is that a rat snake? I think we got a spider web on the lens. Yeah, we do. Look at that. Get a few pictures of them. Look at the stripes down its body. Getting a few still shots. I'll absolutely confirm that later. Does kind of look like a rat snake. All right, we're gonna leave you alone now. Decent size. Okay. Oh yeah, that's one thing I learned. Even hiking this far out in the Everglades, you got cell phone reception everywhere. Internet reception is pretty good. I can do anything out here. The signal was good enough last night to watch videos, do anything. When I went camping at the other spot in the Everglades, the signal was good enough to look things up, good enough to call someone, but not good enough to like watch anything. So there's a signal almost everywhere in the Everglades, and I think it's just because another alligator crashed into the water. It's because it's so flat. Florida's flat. The signals go forever. It's probably what it is. So I'm gonna I'll keep the camera going for a while. We're having a good little vlog, good amount of nature. My battery's a little lower than I thought, but that's okay. It's at 68%. We'll walk maybe until 50%. I still need the camera in case we see anything along the next 5 hours. I have a power bank, but I don't want to deal with the cord right now. I was thinking maybe one of these nights while I'm still in Florida, we'll go looking for snakes specifically at night sometime, but a bit away from the water without the alligators. So if you want to see venomous snakes and stuff, I was told, just drive around the paved roads of the park at night after a sunny day. The pavement is warm. There's not much traffic on the roads, so the snakes will tend to be in the edge of the roads, a bunch of them. I got a PVC pipe over here. I'm guessing that is, let's go read it. Does it say anything? Oh. Is that it's a benchmark. Okay, it's a marker. I thought maybe it was a PVC pipe that they take water samples out of. Alright, what else will we see along the trail? Really see those spider webs again. Here's an area gator was just sitting. Very recently, there's no morning dew on that grass. The venomous snakes is the main reason I wear the big boots out here. Starting to get sweaty fast. Temperatures are gonna rise fast. Look at that. The knees of a cypress tree. That's what that is. You see, this road is still pretty passable, except for a couple grown-in spots. Surprised that they don't trim it a little bit, since there's official campsites down here that nobody wants to use because of the condition. Okay, here we go. One of the dark, scary parts of the trail. There's more cypress knees that you can trip on in the middle of the road. Wow, when the sun's not high in the sky, birds flying away. Those noises they make sure do sound prehistoric. Look at this big drainage ditch. Beautiful cypress trees. So maybe you couldn't tell back there. Even the grassland, we are surrounded by 100% water on both sides of the road. The entire 10 miles. Just being careful to look for snakes in this darker area. These darker areas won't be as dark when the sun starts getting higher, because at this angle it has to shine through twice as many trees. More areas you can tell gators get in and out. I feel like I'm starting to get my second wind. I'm not tired at all right now. Back doesn't hurt anymore. But I'm already sweating like crazy. Humidity's horrible. Phone battery's dropping slow now. I'm guessing it just was at that charge when I woke up. Okay. Not joking, it feels like a sauna out. This past week is the highest humidity I've ever felt in my life. You don't feel this stuff up north. The mosquitoes aren't that bad for what you would expect. I literally only got bit maybe half a dozen times the whole time being out here. And I didn't even apply bug spray yet today. But I'm expecting, just like yesterday, I had a bunch of deer flies following me out here, biting me. They hurt bad and they make you bleed, unlike a mosquito. They're already out in late November. They don't start coming out in my area until like June. Growing season down here is way, way ahead. Or maybe they just never go away down here. The visitor center near here has a sign, just like the ones you see around the country, that points for fire risk, low, slight, moderate, extreme. But they have one of those for mosquitoes. Unbearable, bearable, good. And it even says next to it, the mosquitoes in the summertime here can get so bad that they kill livestock by taking so much blood. Just thousands of mosquitoes landing on something at once. But I wouldn't want to deal with the 100-degree humid heat here in the summer. This is already awful. Right here kind of looks like vehicle tracks. But because of what's coming up, I bet it's been a couple years. The cypress forest is beautiful. Look at that. There's areas of the Everglades that are just so vast. just flooded woods. It's beautiful. Despite how it looks, the water is all crystal clear out here. If it had a white bottom, it'd be crystal clear. It's just dark mud. Also right here, there's a layer of needles, because these are conifer trees that lose their needles. Now, up north we have a few trees that lose their needles. Well, we have one, the tamarack. It loses it for winter, but down here these trees seem a bit similar, and I thought maybe it could be a leftover trait from the last ice age that they do that in the winter. But now I'm kind of thinking maybe it's for the dry season that they hibernate. As the day progresses, these areas here, you dread these wide open areas because it's going to be so hot. Those shaded areas are awesome. Also, the deer flies, horse flies won't follow you into the shade for some reason. Not usually. Bug spray doesn't work on them. They'll land right in it and bite you. It does work on the mosquitoes though. The mosquitoes are a bit different down here. They're more chunky than what we have up north. Battery 63%. I'll keep walking. Hopefully we see some more nature before I end today's vlog. I like to make these vlog videos after I'm done camping, talking about everything. Been thinking about renting a kayak down here. It's $50 a day in the park. And then you pay $23 for the campsite. They have a bunch of water trails. There's one I'm thinking about doing called Hell's Bay. The minimum trip for the average person in a kayak or canoe is 2.5 hours. Then you got more extreme ones, 4 hours, 8 hours, 12 hours of constant paddling to get to camp. Or some of the further away ones, you can take a break halfway in between. More snake skeleton. So when you're out in those swampy areas in a kayak, you're surrounded by gators, but most of them will avoid you. They have tipped over people's kayaks before, but it's extremely rare, and it's usually provoked. People are usually purposely going towards the gators, and they defend themselves. So out there, the campsites in the flooded parts of the Everglades like that, you don't really, there are a couple islands that you can get on the land and set up a tent just on the ground. But most of the campsites out there, you pull your boat, kayak or whatever up to a dock, and you have a deck with a roof and a porta potty. You set up a tent right underneath this little pavilion looking thing called a chickie. You can rent that only $23 a night. Some of them are singular. Some of them, there's 2 different parties that can be on them with a dock separating them with a porta potty in the middle. This time of year, I'm assuming I'd be alone out there. I'm hoping I'd be alone out there. But that price for being out there is not that expensive. You could always just rent both sides of it at the same time to make sure you had your privacy out there. But no one's in the park this time of year. Seen a lot of other people's videos of it too, if they plan on going somewhere which is a 8-hour trip and they realize their arms can't handle it, they get a little tired, they just stop at one they didn't rent, and because so few people do it, no one else will probably show up to the one that you're not supposed to be at. But I kind of just want to experience it for one night, see how I like it, and if I like it, maybe next winter I'll go on like a week-long kayak trip, probably with a canoe if I'm going to be out there a week, to carry a lot of food, a little grill and stuff. Because these videos here, it's hot out. I don't want to carry a cooking source. I don't want to carry the extra weight. I don't want hot food when it's like this. Next week it's supposed to be cooler again in Florida compared to this, back into the 70s, so that's when I'm thinking I might do that. Might talk to the park rangers tonight when I get back and try to reserve something like that and set it up for next week. So once you reserve a place like that, you use the reservation number and you can rent a boat and have it delivered to that spot the exact day, the exact time you plan on starting. And they hand it over to you, and it's $50 a day. Kayak must be returned by 5 p.m. the next day, picked up at the same spot, or you're charged the second day. Not that bad of a price for renting a kayak. I think a regular kayak will do. Well, a regular kayak I usually can't fit in. I need one that's kind of wide to be comfortable in, I've learned, whenever I've kayaked before. I also thought about just renting a kayak for 2 people just to put my gear in the back of it. Canoe is kind of big and bulky just for myself though, and slower. Harder for a gator to tip over though. But some of those things are so big it could come at you like a missile if it wanted to tip you. But that's not likely. Okay, how are we doing for power? 60%. I'm gonna switch arms. Getting a little sore holding this straight like that. Might need to take a break soon, but I'm using the cooler morning weather to get as far as I can. Switching back. These trees are still very, very wet. I feel like that keeps the area a little cooler, which is nice. The ground here is slippery. Even yesterday, this doesn't dry up in the sun. Bird just took off. This algae is slippery. So now I understand what people mean. I've never seen concrete get so slippery where it feels like it needs a pressure washing. All right, before we head back into the bushes up here, I need to stretch for a minute. So I just gotta take this backpack off and have a drink. Backpack's probably 20 pounds lighter than yesterday, which feels good. Still got some weight to it. The tent weighs a lot too because it's very wet. Get my water out. Oh, deer flies are back. Oh, come on. I got it though. It's dead. It got me bad. I'm bleeding right there. That's what they do. My whole back is drenched. You can see this. Can you see the steam that I can see? The sun is burning the sweat off my back. Just a little couple-minute break like that does do a lot for you. What else does a lot when it gets really sweaty? Look at all the spider webs on the lens. Yesterday when I was out here, I took a break that was 20 minutes. Had a little bit to eat too, because it is so muggy out, the weather, that the sweat just doesn't dry up when you stop. I had to blow at my fingers to dry the sweat to even open a package. Okay. 58% battery. I just turned the brightness down a little too, that'll help. While we're walking, I'm gonna pull my other phone out and try to figure out how far we got left to go. Oh my gosh, I just got a big spider web on me. And I went through it perfectly, that it caught in my arm and didn't break, it just stayed. Nice looking. Okay, so from where we came from, oh come on. It's hard to use this phone with one hand. Okay, look at this, look at the map for a second. See that right there? Yeah, I can kind of see it. We just happen to be at a road this exact moment. Ouch! Deer flies hurt. Get away from me, deer flies. I'm just trying to figure out how far I got to get out of here. Oh. Come on. Okay. Got 7 miles left. We were 10 miles deep out there. 2 hours and 30 minutes, it's saying, walking. For some reason, I don't know why. Yesterday it told me like a much bigger number than that. I don't know why I don't know, maybe I'm walking faster. When you have this Google Map in walking mode, is it tracking your speed? So I'm definitely going faster today. Get less weight. I gotta put you guys down. I'm so sweaty, I can't get the phone back in my pocket. I gotta get like a little phone holder that goes on my belt, like a holster that I can just slide it in and out of. Because hiking out here, that's been a problem, getting it in and out. But I got bear spray and a machete. Hopefully that would protect me if I needed to. I feel like bear spray would stop an alligator. snakes. They got a nose, it would bother them. Speaking of bear spray and hot pepper, there's certain areas of this trail that smell like a jar of dried red pepper flakes or some kind of hot pepper that's been dried out. I think it's the seeds. There's some kind of tree out here smells like peppers. When I'm bent over like a turtle, my backpack is higher than I thought. Despite not getting a good night's sleep, I am real awake. The jitteriness all went away. MRE coffee and a bottle of Dunkin' coffee definitely did the trick. Got me going good. If I can actually get out of here in less than 3 hours, that is going to be amazing. The heat yesterday must have been making me slow down for it to take nearly 6 hours. Probably had a good hour at least yesterday of just breaks because of the heat. This place is cool. It's like the jungle. That's why I wanted to go camping a couple times in Florida. It's very different. When I go camping in the woods in my area, there can be things, you know, potentially rabid things. We have the same type of bears and stuff, but alligators are different. Venomous snakes are different. I don't really want to run into them, but they're not nearly as abundant as people advertise them. Haven't seen a single venomous snake this whole couple weeks I've been exploring down here. Nothing like that. These spider webs are collecting on me. Wide open section of highway. This is where we could start seeing gators basking. Something just jumped. Something just jumped. Big splash. Speaking of a gator. Now that it's getting sunny on the road and getting hotter, they're going to want to bask in the sun. I noticed last week when it was colder, got down to like 50 at night, only high temperature of 70. Those colder days for Florida, with all these cold-blooded alligators, you see a lot more of them when it's colder, trying to warm up in the sun. When it's warmer out, they don't come out of the water as often, it seems. Well, that was a bird. Might have to stop in a moment for bug spray. The deer flies in Florida seem to be stupider than the ones up north, or slower, because I'm able to whack them pretty easily with my hat or my hand when they land on me. They don't seem to have a fast reaction. I got one following me right now. Just waiting for it to land in the right spot. I'm bleeding a little bit from that last one. Gotta wave my hat around. I also feel like once they start biting you, they don't want to stop, so you're able to smack them. Switch hands for a minute. It's getting a little sore holding the camera straight. When I switch hands, the reason I gotta stick the camera up in the air is because the tripod's fully extended. For a couple reasons. It makes it more steady to hold it, because it's way out in front of my face where I can see it. Make sure it's focusing where I want. Make sure it's actually still recording with all these drops of dew and stuff hitting it. Also, it being out in front of my face, see how I have to keep clearing spider webs off the lens? It's getting them instead of me. The camera's getting all the spider webs. Notice the trail seems disturbed. Something's been walking through here since last night. Gator, maybe. I wonder if the park rangers are allowed to trim this trail. The last hike we did, which was pretty overgrown, they said anyone can go out there with a machete or trimmers and trim it. No power tools allowed. I'm assuming that's because things like chainsaws drip oil as they lubricate. Maybe they don't want that in the waters. That's what I'm assuming. This tripod still has a little bit of salt residue on it, I'm noticing. From the salt marsh camp. One good thing about this trip, probably because there's a lack of sand in the area, there wasn't any no-see-ums, these tiny little gnats that suck blood. %. We'll see the biggest gator in the world going across the road as second I shut the camera off. That's how it is every time. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh my gosh, that was blended in so well. We got a cottonmouth. Thankfully, they are a very nice, kind snake, typically. They don't just go after you and strike. I was a foot away from stepping on that thing blended in. See why it's called a cottonmouth? It's bright white inside its mouth. Okay, thankfully it was a nice snake. It doesn't just strike at you. But you see, they also stand their ground. It didn't move. You got a cottonmouth. Very well blended in. See how it has stripes on it? When they get older, they turn just black. Oh, look at it opening its mouth. Now they can strike apparently 3 times their body length away. So if it really wanted to, it could have got me there. Wow, that thing is blended in so well. We are gonna give it space and get way around it. It's not gonna come after me over here, I don't think. Whoa, it's turning towards me, it's ready. Oh, okay, its friend got eaten by a bird. That's why it's so angry. Okay, way around it. Oh, deer flies again. Yeah, that's why I have the big tall boots on, because that's where it's most likely probably gonna strike me. I might have to stop now for bug spray. Got quite a few of these guys after me. It helps. It doesn't completely deter them though. Oh, I got it though. I got one of them. I killed one of them. And that cottonmouth wasn't even in the sun. Gotta watch out. That's a concern when I'm going through the bushes. If that thing is on the ground and I don't see it in these thick bushes, I gotta keep plowing through. Try to walk in the wide open areas whenever I can. Still got quite the walk back. See, that's what another thing that makes that snake. You see, it didn't really try to lunge at me, but it doesn't move. It stands its ground, so most snakes you get that close, about to step on it, would have been out of there. Scary how well that thing blended in. Might need another break for my back. In the past week, I will have hiked in the Everglades now 36, 38 miles. It's a good amount from not hiking in a bit with all this weight too. I haven't actually done a far backpacking trip since I was a little kid. If you want to count the prison, that was only a less than an hour and a half walk out. So that wasn't really too bad. But this is like half the day to get out here. Literally half the daylight. Yeah, I'm a lot more paranoid now looking at the ground. What do you think in the comments? Could something like that bite through these boots? They're fabric, they're cut resistant. I have cut them, but they're a lot better than like the cheap ones you buy at Walmart. That's what I'm saying. Right here in the dark, it's really hard to see anything on the ground. At least I'd see its white mouth. Okay, we are on exactly 50% power now. So we'll go a little further, hoping to see another snake in this video. Cottonmouth is the second worst snake you could find out here as far as venom. Number one is the diamondback rattlesnake. But at least that snake should give you a warning and try to get away too. Okay, we're getting slippery again with the algae. Part of the trail's even got a layer of mud on it. You can tell it's floods, and that's even more slippery. Gotta have good balance. I'm gonna stop right here for a quick break. I am so itchy. I have so many bite marks on my arms from those horse flies and mosquitoes. I'm assuming because some of the bites aren't bleeding, they're not that bad. And a good little break for myself. There we go. Pile that on there. Look, there's one going after me right now. It's landing on my head. Put some on my neck. You see that? It's not deterring it. All that bug spray. Oh, I killed it. See, their reaction time is so slow. Flies are known for having a super reaction time. They're already out of there by the time your hand can start moving. Not these ones. These are the slowest flies I've ever seen. But you can't always smack them when you're carrying a camera and other stuff. I'm very itchy right now. Better if I don't scratch it. It'll stop itching. Give it 10 minutes. I don't have afterbite either. I like the old-fashioned afterbite, the one it's like, you know, like a tube and you just squeeze it and it has like alcohol that comes out of it. They don't sell those in the stores. They only sell afterbite cream. I hate those. So you got to go on Amazon and buy the older version of it. which I like better. I feel like it's more effective. I don't know why they don't sell that in the store. But I got one of those in my truck. I didn't bring it out camping, but didn't need it. Still don't need it. These bites aren't that bad. Horsefly bites hurt, they bleed. They're not that itchy in my opinion. Mosquito bites are pretty itchy, but not the worst. The worst, most itchy thing is no-see-ums. In the South, they seem to be at every Walmart parking lot, even sleeping with the windows shut. A few of them always get in with you, and they're hard to find. So they're gonna bite you, so I just gotta let them land on me, I guess. Once they bite me, they're done. Because bug spray like I just put on, I'll use it camping. I don't want to use that on me before I go sleeping in the truck. Because it's sticky, it smells bad. But the permethrin bug spray I like, it's scentless. It's meant for clothes only, but I put it on my skin. I don't think the permethrin's that bad. I've had doctors prescribe me permethrin years ago, and they said it's not bad. We'll just keep prescribing that stuff. They prescribed it years ago because I had something as a kid called scabies, which I guess is pretty common. You can pick it up just by sitting down in a doctor's office chair. It's basically any public area you can pick it up. It's a little mite that burrows under your skin, lays eggs, and it makes you very itchy. It's a territorial mite. You only have a few on your body at a time, but they're very itchy and very contagious, but extremely easy to get rid of. You put a cream head to toe, go to sleep, wake up in the morning, take a shower, wash the sheets, and they're gone. The permethrin is in your skin. It'll protect you from them coming back until the end of their life cycle. Very easy to get rid of, but disgusting creatures. I don't really know. I was just told by my doctor that permethrin's not bad. So I don't know why I always get people telling me not to put the permethrin bug spray on my body. It's better than being sticky and getting bit all night. Even this bug spray says to wash it off at night. Can't really do that out here. Only place to wash off is a crystal clear, clean water alligator pond. Don't want to go in there. Even the shallow areas you can see far. I don't want to go in there. Still looking out for snakes, don't see any. Not seeing any. Wonder how many of you saw that snake before I did back there. How we doing for power? 47. I gotta get one of those phone cases. They have these really thick phone cases. It's a power bank behind the phone, and it just charges through wireless charging phone to the case. That might be helpful for these long walks. I wouldn't mind recording my entire way back. Something exciting is going to happen as soon as the camera's off. Alright, I think I'll shut the camera off here. I gotta take a drink too. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a great day.